Ludus, Vulpes.
Welcome to Ludus Vulpes. My name's Kirsty.
And we made a game!
No, you didn't say your name.
Oh, sorry, my name's Phil. And we made a game!
No, I'm not ready yet.
Oh, hang on.
Now, today, you're going to see us with some very different hats on. Put your hat on. Put your hat on. We're wearing our designer hats.
I mean, they're not designer, like...
I mean, yours isn't, mine is.
This isn't Prada. But our design hats. These are the hats, apparently, that we wear when we design games. Because you may not have noticed earlier on, but we made a game. Kirsty, we made a game. This is a game.
We made a game. Okay, let's take off the silly hats and talk about the game. Beautiful.
Thank you.
I don't trip over that after.
So, why did we do something different? Yes, you've seen us review games, and why would we expose ourselves to somebody else reviewing a game that we created? Because we wanted to do something a little bit different, and we thought we'd have an opportunity to implement some ideas. So, over the course of the next sort of 4 or 5 videos, we're going to talk to you about a little bit of that design process and how we got from, scratches on the table?
I mean, I didn't gouge into the table. I definitely drew onto the table with like erasable pencil.
Okay, so
but yes,
pencils on a table, through paper and through
a glass board.
an MDF board. The glass board was a chessboard at your mum and dad's house.
Yeah.
MDF board to a final copy here, which we'll show you in the goodness of time. But first, in part 1, we are going to talk about what we designed and what were our limitations, what were the sort of constraints we put on ourselves to design this game, which, in case you hadn't noticed, because Kirsty's held it for a long time and I've been glimpsing it out, is called Overgrowth. It's on Board Game Geek, and it is also available for sale. So you can buy this if you want to. It's beautiful. We'll show you beauty later. So, Kirsty, what made us want to design a game?
We wanted to create a game where players interact with one another.
Okay, that's part of the design brief. We must have player interaction. What else did we say we needed?
We wanted it to be made in the UK.
So there was anyone who knows board games knows there's a challenge. But we found the right people. So
we'll talk about that shortly.
Yeah, we will. So we've got made in the UK, and we've got player interaction as a significant part of the game. Anything else?
We wanted it to look beautiful enough to leave out on a coffee table or any other type of table. Tea tables also apply. So that you can interact with non-gamers and play a game because it looks beautiful and it creates a bit of conversation.
Yes, so we wanted it to look like a conversation piece. And now I'm going to jump in on my important part of the design brief, and it comes back to non-gamers. And that was to have some game mechanics that non-gamers or people with limited gaming experience may not have seen before. So we decided to go simple and keep life real easy. We went action selection with a rondel, obviously.
What else would you do?
So with that kind of design brief in mind, we've got a few other, as we go on.
I was going to say, actually, the rondel didn't start that way.
No, it didn't.
No.
Action selection was always part of it. The rondel came with time.
Yes.
So
we should journey back in time to the beginning.
Like that. So, as Kirsty's mentioned, this game started out life as a
Drawing on a table.
Drawing on a dining room table. Photos will probably be replacing Kirsty's beautiful face and my ugly mug just in a moment. And originally, the game had a like a card selection mechanism. No, it didn't.
No,
I didn't design a card selection mechanism. I designed just like 3 actions. You could just do any of the 3 actions.
It actually began with 2 actions. And then we went to 3 actions.
And then to 4.
No, it's 3 actions to begin with for a while. And we roughly drew a grid out on the table. We placed these icons, which were action icons, either side of the grid for the table. And I was like, right, okay, let's just play. Let's just play it. Let's
See what happens.
work the rules out as we go. These are the actions that we have.
We grabbed a couple of handfuls of dice, which
Yeah,
we used
we
as
did.
different counters.
Yeah. And it was like, I was the black dice and you were the red dice.
Correct.
Because I always play black, wherever possible. And then we basically played. And within 30 seconds into the game of us going, play, 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 I was like, no, it's broken, I'm not doing it.
And so we went ahead and fixed it. And the first fix was Kirsty's fix, which was adding 3 action selection boxes.
Yeah. Which I think were actually salt and pepper pots.
Yeah, maybe. I can't remember what we used. But they're three
or the
boxes.
dice contain. It was the containers that held the dice.
Yes.
Then blocked the action, so you could never repeat the same action twice.
Which we felt was important.
Yeah.
And we followed that with the addition of a 4th action. Mm-hmm. So we then ended up with 4 actions, but it still didn't play quite right.
However, the very, very, very first action that we created was its namesake, and that is the Overgrowth action. We grew everything from that one action that we wanted to feature in the game.
So we now have an idea of a game, and the action selection, sort of moving a counter to select an action, was working, but it wasn't great.
We weren't interacting enough.
No, and so we decided to put those actions around the edge of the board and add a little action selection counter. So you're actually working around a rondel, and you can potentially catch and block and obstruct your opponent on that rondel. And suddenly...
Yeah. And so the way in which we did that was we were at my parents' house. As Phil mentioned earlier, a glass chessboard, which is my dad's, which I bought him years and years ago from the gadget shop, if anybody remembers that. And we literally ripped up some shreds of paper, put the actions out, blocked up the spaces that we couldn't use around the edge, and it was like, right, okay, let's have a play. And actually, I think it was you and Mum that played.
We did, yeah, and you and your dad watched.
Yeah.
And your mum was like, "Oh, this is good."
This is good.
And being someone who'd never got the head around action selection before meant that we ticked a box in the brief, which was to encourage someone who wasn't a gamer to actually learn a new game mechanic, so that because we found like challenges sometimes people are happy to play Ticket to Ride, but then if you want to move into something slightly more challenging, you've got to teach them more mechanics than just set collection and trick taking kind of thing. So it was a nice idea, and it was nice to see it actually working.
So that was the first tick in the box. We have something that advances people's knowledge into modern board games.
So there you go. That was our first stage of design brief. That has now translated into a board that we will reveal in the next video. So, if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, because this series will go on.
And on.
And on.
And on.
No, that's not true.
No, right.
But we will continue with the series, because we want you to look at the next steps we took after we got down to this prototype stage. And there are a few big steps to take from prototype with torn up bits of paper on a chessboard to a published game. So we want to share those steps with you as well. So you can also find us on
Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, also known as X. All you need to do is search for Ludus Vulpes.
Thank you for spending a little bit of time with us today, and we'll see you next time.
Hope you enjoyed the video.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.